When I was a kid, I used to watch a bunch of things with my mom. Whether it be Family Guy or Law and Order Special Victims Unit, which honestly I shouldn't have been watching, everything we watched stuck with me for better and sometimes for worse. One of these shows was an old series called Lost Tapes that would often show on the Animal Planet channel, usually late at night. I absolutely adored Lost Tapes. It ignited my love and passion for urban legends and cryptids. Each episode was a dramatization of a story or an entire fictional story that captured the fear accurately enough to stick with the kids that watched the show. There, I learned about so many cryptids, Mongolian death worms, the monster of Monterey Bay, and my first time hearing about the infamous Wendigo. The Wendigo episode scared the heck out of 9-year-old me so bad that nothing ever really scared me like that again, well, at least in fiction and TVs and in movies. So, going off of memory, the episode followed a group of young people trying to make a documentary, I think. Anyway, they get picked off rather quickly and some park rangers or something show up and they find a girl that survived. Turns out one of her male friends became a Wendigo himself. The howl that the Wendigo makes absolutely terrified me, and its appearance with the deer skull and antlers have been seared into my brain ever since. Hey everybody, my name is Blas, and I like to talk about scary stuff, heavy music, and video games that I play. And today we'll be talking about the legendary and infamous Wendigo. The Wendigo comes from the traditional stories of several Native American tribes from the Great Lakes and northern forest regions of North America, especially the Algonquian-speaking peoples such as the Ojibwe, the Cree, and the Algonquian. These tribes lived in harsh environments with long, freezing winters, where food could be scarce. So many of their stories were meant to teach important lessons about survival, respect, and self-control. The Wendigo was used as a warning about what happens when a person gives in to greed, hunger, or selfishness, especially during desperate times. In many versions of the story, a Wendigo was once a human who became lost in winter or turned to cannibalism to survive, and by doing so they lost their humanity and transformed into a monster. Over time, the Wendigo became a symbol of extreme hunger that can never be satisfied, always wanting more no matter how much it consumes. The name Wendigo comes from Algonquian languages, but it has many spellings including Wendigo, Windigo, and Witico, depending on the tribe and the way the word was recorded by outsiders. Of course, I could be saying these names wrong, and I want to treat this subject with respect because I'm interested in the Wendigo, but I also want to be respectful to the tribes because they believe that this spirit is a true and real evil. So, like I said, I want to be as respectful as possible, so I apologize if I'm mispronouncing some of these names. While translations vary, the name is often linked to ideas like evil spirit that eats humans, or the spirit of the cold north. The word itself reflects the fear of winter, starvation, and isolation, which were very real dangers for the people who first told these stories. The famous deer skull and antler version of the Wendigo does not come from the original Native American stories, but from a much later European and modern horror interpretation. This image began forming in the late 19th and 20th centuries when European writers, artists, and filmmakers learned about the Wendigo through translated books and secondhand retellings. Because many of these creators were unfamiliar with the cultural meaning behind the legend, they reshaped it using symbols that already felt frightening or familiar to European audiences. Just like when Japan makes a ghost story like The Ring, or they use Sadako or something like that, and then in America they try to translate it into our kind of horror by focusing more on body horror instead of ghostly paranormal horror. They translate it to their version of what they think is scary. In European folklore, antlers, skulls, and horned creatures were often linked to the wild, the devil, or dark forest spirits, so artists began mixing those ideas with the Wendigo. Over time, the monster was shown as tall, skeletal, and animal-like, with a deer skull for a face, and large antlers to make it look more inhuman and intimidating, almost like our modern interpretation of a demon. This version fits well with horror themes of cursed forests, hunting imagery, and the fear of nature turning against humans. Movies, video games, and modern illustrations spread this look even further, until many people began to think it was the true Wendigo. In reality, this antlered form is a modern invention shaped by European horror styles, not the original legend, but it became popular because it visually represents hunger, death, and the loss of humanity in a way that is easy to recognize and very, very unsettling to look at. In the original Native American stories, the Wendigo was usually described very differently from the antlered monster seen in modern horror. Among the Algonquin-speaking tribes, the Wendigo was often said to look thin, tall, and painfully skinny, with its bones showing through its skin as if it were starving. Its skin was sometimes described as pale, gray, or sometimes bluish, like a body frozen by extreme cold, reflecting the harsh northern winters where the legend was born. This blue-tinged look symbolized death, frost, and a lack of warmth or life, not something animal-like, like our European depiction. The Wendigo still looked mostly human, which made it even more frightening, because it showed what a person could become if they gave in to greed, hunger, or cannibalism. Its lips might be torn or missing, its eyes sunken, and its body stretched thin, as if it could never eat enough to survive. This version of the Wendigo was not meant to be flashy or dramatic, but disturbing in a quiet way, a realistic way, because it reminded people that the monster was once human. In these stories, the Wendigo served as a moral warning, teaching the importance of sharing, community, and respect during times of hardship. The skinny, frozen appearance reflected both the deadly cold of winter and the spiritual emptiness caused by selfishness, making the Wendigo a symbol of hunger that destroys both the body and the soul. In Native American culture, the Wendigo is deeply feared, not just as a monster, but as a dangerous idea. And because of this fear, many people avoid saying its name out loud, such like a cognito hazard almost. The Wendigo represents extreme hunger, greed, and the loss of humanity, and speaking its name was believed to draw its attention or give it power in some way. Some tribes used other words or spoke about it carefully, especially during winter, when food was scarce and survival was the hardest. The fear was not only about the creature itself, but about what it symbolized, a warning of what could happen if someone turned on their community or gave in to their desperation. Stories of the Wendigo were told quietly and seriously, not for entertainment, but to teach respect, sharing, and self-control. Because of this, the Wendigo is still treated with caution today, and many native people prefer that it not be joked about or casually used, since it carries spiritual weight and represents a real cultural fear tied to survival, history, and loss. The Wendigo has since become very popular in modern pop culture because its story fits well with themes of fear, survival, and losing humanity. Plus, the image, at least the European version, is very popular. One of the most well-known modern appearances is in the video game Until Dawn, where the Wendigo is shown as a tall, thin, pale creature that hunts people in the snowy mountains. That version closely matches the original Native American description, focusing on starvation, cold, and former humans turned into monsters, and it introduced many people to the legend for the first time. The Wendigo has also appeared in movies, TV shows, books, and games like Supernatural, Hannibal, and Antlers, each adapting the creature in different ways, sometimes mixing the original lore with the antlered European-style design. On the internet, the Wendigo became part of meme culture, where people often exaggerate its traits for humor, or just make memes simping for the creature. At the same time, creepy images, videos, and short horror stories online helped keep the darker version of the legend alive, especially on platforms like TikTok and Reddit. Because the Wendigo represents hunger, greed, isolation, and the fear of turning into something monstrous, it continues to be reused and reshaped, making it one of the most recognizable folklore creatures in both serious horror and internet culture. The Wendigo will forever remain one of the most powerful and unsettling figures in folklore because it is more than just a monster. It is a warning rooted in real human fear and survival. Originating from Native American traditions, the Wendigo was used to teach lessons about sharing, self-control, and the danger of greed, especially during brutal winters when starvation was a real threat. Its original appearance, thin, frozen, and still human-like, made it terrifying because it showed what a person could become if they lost their humanity. Over time, as the legend spread into European and modern culture, the Wendigo's image changed, gaining antlers and animal features that fit Western horror styles, even though these were not part of the original stories. Despite these changes, the fear surrounding the Wendigo remains strong, with many native people treating it seriously and avoiding saying its name out of respect. Whether seen through traditional teachings or modern pop culture, the Wendigo continues to represent the danger of unchecked hunger, isolation, and greed, reminding people that the greatest monsters often begin as human. And that was my piece on the Wendigo. I love both versions and respect both versions. The European, more pop culture-y type Wendigo with the antlers and the deer skull, because that's what scared me, that's what scarred me as a kid. But I also deeply respect the Native American version as well, because that one is more realistic and in a way scarier, because that one's way more believable than some creature with antlers. So anyway, if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, comment what you think about the Wendigo down in the description, and which version you prefer. Just let me know your thoughts, let me hear them. And subscribe if you want to see more. I'm thankful for every subscriber, and I'm thankful that we reached 2,000 subs. I want to see how far we can get and how far we can go. The next goal is, I hate to be kind of confident here, but the next goal is 5,000 subs. I don't know what I'll do for that one, but I'm very excited, and I'm glad that the channel is picking up traction with a lot of viewers, and I want to do my best to make you guys stay. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads, for basically not uploading this entire last week, because I kind of fell out of it. I fall into these spaces of I just don't feel like doing anything, where I don't do good mentally. So I have to take breaks like that, because I'm doing other stuff outside of making YouTube videos, and plus I also get busy, so whatever. I'm gonna try my best to keep uploading weekly, especially now that I want to take this YouTube thing super seriously. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, and I don't know if I'll upload the rest of this month, maybe one other video, but if I don't, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, guys. See you later.